This is Jess with Local Music Somewhere, and you're listening to rBeatz Radio. Hi, I'm Jess with Local Music Somewhere. Welcome to my little at-home demo setup. Today, we're going to talk about something very important, playlisting. We need to talk about playlisting. If you want to reach your audience and grow your audience, it's a super important tool. So most people use streaming apps like Spotify or Apple Music, and you can upload your songs onto these platforms, but there are tools that can help you find and grow your audience. Playlisting being a super important one. Specifically today, I want to talk about Spotify playlists. There are two different kinds. There are editorial playlists and there are algorithmic playlists. Now today we just want to talk about editorial. Let me tell you the difference between the two. Editorial playlists are created by curators that are essentially by genre, mood, and even activity. And then algorithmic is the way it sounds. It's based on the user's listening history, where they're at, what time of day they listen, that kind of stuff. But today we want to talk about editorial playlists and contacting these curators and how it works for you. These curators already have playlists that have thousands of saves and lots of activity that are going on. So that's why you would want to be placed on these playlists. Think of it kind of like modern radio at this point. So this is going to ensure that your songs can be heard by your targeted audience and then kind of find out who digs it the most based on the data that you're going to get after these get placed. So the process varies, and you're going to actually have to go and find these curators on your own or hire a third party to do this for you. There is a good resource called playlistsupply.com where you can filter through your genre and you can check and see how active their listeners are, and it gives you the contact information to actually start emailing these curators and asking them, hey, check out my tracks. Most of them are open to having tracks emailed to them so they can decide if it fits with what they're doing or not. And you go from there. So the more curators that you're contacting, the better chance you're going to have at getting onto a playlist that's already got activity, listener activity, and you'll be able to get follows from that, and just general buzz about the song that you're trying to push. Most of the time, you're going to be asked for a fee to place these songs. Now, at first, it's a little off-putting because paying to play is usually something we want to stay away from. But I think that at this point, this can be considered more of a promotional expense. So if you really want to generate activity on these tracks, if you're already investing in social media ads, I think that investing in some playlist placements might not be such a bad idea. And not only that, but you're going to get data about the audience. So I think it's well worth at least a trial. So when you're looking for these playlists that you want to be on, you want to make sure that they jive with your music, that they're kind of within the same world, genre. You want to make sure that they're an active playlist, because sometimes when you're going through and looking, you'll see something that seems to fit, but there's not really a lot of activity to justify, going through that process with that curator. So you want to check for those things as you go along. And once again, since we're talking specifically about Spotify today, I think it's really important to get the Spotify for Artists app, because it's going to show you all the analytics of where it's playing the most, who is listening, all that kind of data that you can use to further your marketing and zero in on where you're going to spend your promotional dollars. So remember, it's not just about increasing the number of streams. You're trying to find a core audience that's going to support you through a long-term career. So before I go today, I want to tell you that you still always need to believe in yourself, even if you don't see those numbers at first. Consumer data is not a marker of your worth as an artist. So keep that in mind as you go through all of this. So make sure you're staying cautiously optimistic, and definitely leave your experience in the comments with playlisting down below so we can all keep educating ourselves and share our experiences so that we can better move forward trying to find our audiences and what works for us. I'm Jess with Local Music Somewhere, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks as always for tuning into rBeatz Radio. Search for more local music somewhere on rBeatz.com and follow our social media for highlighted artists as we travel with #LocalMusicSomewhere.